I scoured the internet for the 3 most common pieces of medical interview advice that didn't work for me. Here's what I found and what I think could be better. Doing right. More like doing wrong because it's not necessary. When I started preparing for the medical interview, I jumped straight to Reddit and YouTube to look at what resources I could use. And then I found it. Doing Right. A book touted for being amazing at explaining intense medical ethical concepts. But that's the thing. It's intense. Descriptions of the book say it's aimed at 2nd and 3rd year ethics courses offered straight out of medical school. Which I agree with. The ethical thinking you need for the medical interview is simply much easier. I'm going to be attaching resources that I think can better explain ethical thinking and how you want to approach your answer for the medical interview. The resources are linked in the description below. I think you would find them incredibly useful when preparing for this portion of your interview. Number 2, summarizing the case. Many applicants are recommended to summarize the case before they start the response to a particular case or question. Now, often I hear this advice being given to students because it gives you an opportunity to really get in the zone. But that's one thing you really have to think about here. It's an opportunity for you. The interview isn't about you, but it's also the impression that you give to the interviewer. So let me give you an example. If you were to actually try to summarize a case for a question, this is how the interviewer is going to respond. They're going to remember, you're not the only person interviewing at the school or even at the station. They've probably heard this case 10 plus times. Do you really want to immediately bore your interviewer? And that's how I really thought about this portion of the interview. That, for one, I actually started summarizing cases early on in my preparation, but then I had a moment of reflection. You don't want to immediately check out your interviewer from your response. You want your interviewer fully engaged in your response from beginning to end. And starting it off with a summary, well, I don't think that's going to cut it. Instead, do this. Briefly introduce your name and then thank the interviewer for the opportunity to be there. You want to be straight to the point, polite, respectful, but immediately get into your response to make sure you engage your interviewer as much as possible. Number 3, preparing for why medicine is bad. Let me explain. Time and time again, I always see people recommend preparing an answer for the inevitable question of why medicine. But I really don't think that is enough in today's landscape of medical school admissions. Unfortunately, these aren't the people that get in. As a medical student, I can now say that people's answers to why medicine can really almost be replaced by every single different role in healthcare. You have nursing, you have technicians, you have occupational therapists, you have so many other roles in healthcare that can answer that same very question if your answer is simply to help people. To replace this point, I want to encourage you to think about why not another healthcare role, such as nursing or an occupational therapist. Well, there are many other fields in healthcare that can simply just replace being a physician. You really want a response that leads you on this long and arduous journey to becoming a physician. Interviewers want to have an answer, or want you to have an answer that really makes sure that you're ready for this long commitment. You know, I have a funny story that when I first started medical school during orientation week, almost every single doctor kept on talking to us about record high levels of burnout among physicians. And that's the truth. You're about to enter a field potentially where you will face almost guaranteed burnout. They want to make sure that the people that they are accepting in these medical schools are ready to be resilient and persevere through those hard moments. So hopefully with these 3 replacements, you're able to better prepare for your medical school interview. Best of luck on the cycle. I'll be rooting for you. If you want another video about the medical interview, feel free to check out this video here, where I give 3 more tips that I think could really help you prepare for your interview. And finally, if you made it to this point of the video, feel free to give a like, subscribe, maybe drop a comment to let me know any other videos you want to see on the channel. Thanks.